All right, so let's solve this calculator problem together. By now you've turned in your calculator assignment and hopefully you figured it out. And if not, no big deal. We're going to cover it together and go through one of many different approaches to actually build a simple calculator. And I'm just going to go with a very basic, easy approach. So I have a new project. Here's my activity and my Kotlin file. I'm just going to select my hello world and delete it, get it out of here. We don't need it. Give myself a little bit more visual space to work with. And I'm going to add in sort of my minimum requirements. And I like to take notes in here while I'm thinking about it. So let's have a little section here called UI notes. All right. And I like to just kind of visually break that up so it's easy to see. Okay. So the first thing is we're going to need two text entry fields, right? One for one number, one for another. We're going to need several buttons for operators. Let's say we need 4 if we want to have add, subtract, multiply, divide. Okay. We're also going to want to have a solution area, probably a text view. And we probably will have another text just kind of explaining the whole UI. All right, so let's add another line here. Again, I'm just visually breaking it up. This is really common. You'll see people working like this all over the place. All right, so the first thing was two text entry fields. So I'm going to go to text and we have a bunch of different options here. Let's go with number. So these different entry fields will only allow certain pieces of data and bring up different keyboards. So let's put this number field in here first. I'm gonna just make it a little bit smaller. Okay. And let's go ahead and duplicate it. And we're going to give ourselves a nice margin here on the sides. Okay. I haven't added any constraints yet. Remember, I have to do that. So I have my two number fields. And let's add a series of buttons now. So I'll go to the buttons. We have a bunch of different types of buttons. Let's just go with a regular button. What could be interesting is if we had maybe a series of radio buttons that they select which operation they want to do. Maybe we use switches, maybe we use image buttons, etc. But I'm just going to go with your standard button. I'm going to copy and paste this a few times and get myself several of these. And again, we'll evenly space these out later. We're not going to worry about too much about it now. So let's get a text view down here for the solution. Make that nice and big. And let's also have a text view up here. Maybe we'll do a text view over here. I'm going to turn on layout decorations just so I can see what it's actually going to look like. Okay, looks good to me. So let's connect some of these things. I'm going to just have my attribute open on the side. So this is called edit text. We have edit text 2. We have text view 2, text view 3, text view 1, we have button 3 for button 2. So these are all kind of crazy right now. Let's go ahead and edit some of the text here. So we'll have this one as addition. We'll have this one as subtraction. We'll do division and multiplication. Okay. Let's change the text here to say, let's say first number, second number, and let's have this text just say solution for now. Let's see what kind of constraints this thing generates for us if I just click auto constraints. Okay. This looks pretty decent to me. These aren't evenly spaced, we can work that out later. But the rest of this looks good, so I think we're good to go. Now we should name some of these. So let's select this first one. Let's give this an ID of, we'll call it first number. So yes. We'll call this one second number. Yes. And we'll call this one solution text. So we still have some buttons over here that have some odd names. This one we'll call divide. We'll call this guy multiply. We'll call this one subtract. And we'll call this one add. All right, so we've got our UI set up, our names look right, and we're ready to start coding.